Hello friend, it's my pleasure to welcome you to my channel LZ Graphics and Multimedia, and in today's video you are going to learn how to create print ready geometric business card in Photoshop step-by-step tutorial. But before we dive deep into the tutorial, if you are very new to this channel, remember to click on the subscribe, turn on notification bell, so each time I post content about Photoshop you'll be notified. So with that being said, so let's dive into the tutorial and see how you create a geometric print ready business card in Photoshop. So let's begin. The first thing you need to do is to go to the file from the home tab right here and make sure you click on new. Then at the point right here, this is where you need to type in the title of your design, geometric Alright, so you have to come from pixel right here. Make sure you switch from pixels to inches. Then the next thing you want to do right here is to come to the width column. Then for the width column, type 3.25. Then the height column, you have to type in 1.75. Then make sure your resolution is 300 and your color should always be CMYK. Finally, you come down below right here and make sure you click on create. So next thing you want to do right here is to go to your ruler and make sure you grab your ruler both vertical and horizontal. Then make sure it snaps to the edge of the page. Next thing you want to do is to go to the home tab right here, go to image. From image, look for canvas size. Then from the point right here, make sure you type in 0.25 for the width and make sure you type in 0.25 for the height and come to the top right here and hit. Next thing you want to do is to go back to your ruler and make sure you drag from vertical and horizontal and make sure it snaps to the page. And the next thing you need to do is to go back to your image. Make sure you look for canvas size. Then at the point here, for the width angle, make sure you type 5, and for the height, make sure you type 0.25 and click on OK. This allows you to create a bleed zone. Okay. So the next thing you need to do is to go to your toolbar right here, click and hold down. This time around, you have to choose your rectangle shape. Come to the property, make sure shape is checked, and then you have to come to the color right here. You can change the color to dark gray, and then once you make your format shape, then you have to come to the workspace right here and draw your rectangle. And after draw your rectangle, you have to come to the move tool right here, and the next thing you need to do is to go to the home tab right here, go to edit. From edit, make sure you look for free transform, or you press Ctrl T to open the transform tools. Next thing you want to do is to right click on the shape and you have to look for skew. Then having look for skew, just make sure you skew the shape a little bit. So you can make it minus 15.5. So once you're satisfied with the size, then you come to the top right here and click on this check mark to accept the transform. Okay. Now the next thing we need to do is to come to the background layer right here. And we go back to our toolbar. Then we have to click and hold down, and we choose rectangle tools again, and we can come to the color right here. We can change the color, and we come to the workspace and draw another. Then the next thing we need to do is to go to the home tab right here. We go to edit. From edit, we look for free transform. Then the next thing we need to do is to come to the top right here. We have to rotate this by 35 degrees. So we're going to have something like this. Then we can adjust it to the top this way. So once we're satisfied with the adjustment, we have to come to the top right here and click on this check mark to accept the transform. Then we can come back to this particular shape. Then we go to the home tab right here. We click on edit and free transform. Then we have to right click on it again and make sure we choose skew. So we need to adjust the skew more and more. So we have minus 4.0 and we click on OK. So the next thing we need to do is to make sure we select this layer right here. Then we come back to the layer panel. We right click on the layer, and we make sure we look for duplicate layer. And this duplicate one right here, we can make it rectangle. So the next thing we want to do right here is that we need to go back to our rectangle, and we come to the top right here. We can change the color, and we click on OK. The next thing we need to do right here is to go back to our home tab right here. We go to edit. From edit, we look for free transform. Then we need to right click on it, and we make sure we choose flip horizontal. So we're going to have something like this. We can press Ctrl plus to zoom out, Ctrl plus to zoom out, Ctrl plus to zoom out. So we're going to have something like this. Then we have to make sure we take it to the top. So once we satisfy with the adjustment, we have to come to the home tab right here. We click on this check mark to approve the free transform. Then we have to press Ctrl minus to zoom in. Next thing we want to do right here is to make sure we work on the shape 1 and shape 3, and we have to press Ctrl key down and select the two shape. Then we can tap them out. So the next thing I'm going to do is to look for this particular layer right here, and we come to the layer panel. We right click on the layer panel, and we have to look for duplicate layer. So this duplicate layer right here, we can make this one right here rectangle 4, and we click on OK. Now we have to take the So the next thing we want to do right here is to go back to the home tab right here. We go to edit, and we make sure we look for our free transform. Then we have to press hotkey and the shift key, and we increase the size of the shape right here. Then once we are satisfied with the adjustment, we come to the home tab right here, and we click on this confirm transform. So we're going to have something like this. Okay, then the next thing we need to do is to look for our background layer again. Then we have to go to our tools bar right here. We click and hold down. This time around we have to choose pen tools. Then having choose our pen tools, then we need to go to the pen tools property right here. We make sure from the top here, we make sure shape is checked. Then we can come to the color, and we can change the color to dark black. Now we have to come to the part workspace right here and make path. We have to draw shape like this. All right, so the next thing we need to do right here is to adjust our shape. So we have to come to the layer panel right here, and we have to press shift key and select the top layer. So all the layer is going to be selected. Next, so we go to edit. We make sure we click on our free transform. So we're going to have something like this. Then we can adjust the shape a little bit. So once we satisfy with the adjustment, we have to come to the home tab right here, and make sure we click on confirm transform, or you press enter key on your keyboard. So we're going to have something like this. So the next thing we need to do is to add appropriate color to our business card. So we can start from this particular shape right here. Then we have to come to the layer panel. We double click on the layer thumbnail, and this pump up. Then we have to pick our color from the point right here. So you can see the color code I use here. So we can copy the color code, Ctrl C to copy, and we click on OK. Then we have to select this particular shape right here. We come to the layer thumbnail, we double click on the layer thumbnail, and this pump up. Then we have to paste the color code right here, Ctrl V to paste. So you can see the color code has been matched, and we click on OK. Next thing we need to do is to select this particular shape right here, and we double click on the layer thumbnail right here, and we're going to look for dark red from the top right here, and we pick our dark red from this angle, and we click on OK. Then we have to select the bottom shape, and we double click on the layer thumbnail. Then we select this dark red also, and we click on OK. So next thing we want to do is to make sure we select this particular layer. Having selected this layer, we have to come to the layer opacity right here. We turn down this layer opacity. So this allows us to see the shape at the bottom of the layer. We can press Ctrl plus to zoom out. Ctrl plus to zoom out. Okay. So what we're going to do right here is to make use of our pen tool to cut some area out of this shape. But before that, we have to select on this particular shape. We adjust this shape a little bit and we make sure it snaps to this one right here. Okay. So it needs to be connected from that angle. So we have to fall back to this particular shape, and having selected this particular shape, we have to come to the layer right here. We right click on the layer and we make sure we rasterize the layer. So having rasterized the layer, we have to go back to our toolbar right here. We click and hold down. We have to make sure we choose pen tools this time around, and having choose pen tool, we have to come to the pen tools property. This time around, we make sure we choose part. Then having select part, we have to come to the shape right here and we trim this place. Then we make sure we close the part right here and right click on the part, and we make sure we look for next selection. Then we click on OK. Then we have to press the delete key on our keyboard. So having deleted that point, we have to come to the home tab right here. We go to select. We make sure we click on deselect. And then we can press Ctrl minus to zoom in. And then the next thing we want to do right here is to go back to the opacity right here. And we make sure we turn this opacity back to 100%. So we are going to have stuff like this, okay? So the next thing we want to do is to select this particular shape right here. We come to the layer, thumbnail. We double click on the layer, thumbnail. And we have to change this particular shape color. So you can see the color code I use for this point here. Here is the color code. And you have to come to the top here and click on OK. So the next thing I want to do right here is to go back to my background shape. Then from background layer, we have to come, I'm going to bring out my vector shape. So I'll add this vector to the background. And I'll drop it down here. So next thing I want to do is to align this vector. We have to go to the Home tab. We go to Select. We make sure we click on All. Then we have to make sure we align to vertical and horizontal center. Then we go back to Select. We make sure we deselect. So at this point here, the next thing to do is to add text and icon to our business card.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, each hand, you're the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread, with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, just hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something